Okay, so next one is mitochondria, a double membrane bonded cell organelle. And before this one, we completed endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, and the vacuole. So now it is mitochondrion, mitochondria, plural, mitochondrion, singular. Okay, so it is first dimension. What about the length and width of mitochondria? So first one, width of mitochondria or diameter. Zero 0.2 micrometers to 1.0 micrometers. And within the bracket, the average size also given. Usually it is 0.5 micrometers. Okay. And what about length of mitochondria? Okay. So length is roughly 1 to 4 roughly micrometers. 1 to 4 micrometers in length. And what about the shape of mitochondria? Variable, but shape of the mitochondria in most of the cases, it is variable, but most common shape is sausage. Sausage means cylindrical structure. Tube-like structure. Sausage are cylindrical structure. Okay, next, very, very important thing, number of mitochondria per cell. Okay, so what about the number of mitochondria per cell? It depends on physiological function performed by that. So number of mitochondria depends on various criteria are there. What are they? One by one. Depends on one, age of the cell. One is age of the cell. Age of the cell. Generally, youngest cells are having highest number of mitochondria. Old cells with a less number of mitochondria. And the second one, metabolism also. Metabolism of cell. So if it is having highest rate of metabolism, definitely more number of mitochondria possible. If it is poor in metabolism, less number of mitochondria. Overall, mitochondria is concerned with aerobic respiration. Okay, so abundant food material present and more energy is required. Growth and development is required. Obviously, more number of mitochondria are required in that cell to produce more amount of energy. Okay. 23 only so far. What happened to rest of the students? Okay, right. So what about the main function of mitochondria? It is concerned with aerobic respiration. So function of mitochondria. Aerobic respiration. We will see the structure also. Wait. Aerobic respiration. So out of aerobic respiration, what are the reactions possible? This is not given in a textbook. We will see this one in second year only. Don't worry about this one. One, link reaction. Second one, Krebs cycle. Krebs cycle is well known to you. RTCA cycle. And the third one, ETS, electron transport system. Okay, electron transport system. So out of aerobic respiration, link reaction, Krebs cycle, and electron transport system, these three are taking place within the mitochondria. So what is the main objective of mitochondria? To synthesize a energy currency of the cell, concerned with production or synthesis of ATP, that is called as energy currency of the cell. So potential energy, PE, potential energy present in food is converted to chemical energy, that is ATP, and this is a kinetic energy with which we can perform work. Okay, so that is about dimensions, shapes, and the number and the functions of mitochondria. Take the screenshot. We'll go for the structure of mitochondria. Take the screenshot, please. Take the screenshot, please. Okay. Okay, now I'm erasing the board. Now, what about a sausage-shaped structure of mitochondria? Yes, what happened? Okay. So now what about the structure of mitochondria? So mitochondria is surrounded by envelope. That envelope, mitochondria, no repetition, nothing I explained you. Mitochondria is surrounded by one envelope, single envelope, and that envelope is with two membranes. Okay. So what about those membranes? So this is the outer membrane. Okay, so now it looks like a single compartment, but once one more membrane is established, definitely compartment 1, compartment 2. Okay, so this is a outer membrane. It is almost a permeable membrane. So you can take it is a semi-permeable or permeable membrane. Permeable, no restrictions. Okay, so chemically that membrane is a lipoproteinaceous membrane only, lipid and proteins. And what about inner membrane? Inner membrane is not straight, okay, invaginated. A number of foldings are present. These foldings are well known to you. Okay, so inner membrane is folded. Okay, so what about outer membrane? This membrane, outer membrane is without foldings or invagination. Invagination is folding only, without invagination. Okay. And because of these two, one more compartment is created. So here two compartments are present. We'll see what are those compartment also. And what about this membrane, inner membrane? That inner membrane is a selectively permeable membrane or differentially permeable membrane. On the day I told you, differentially permeable membrane. So inner membrane is selectively or differentially permeable membrane. Selectively or differentially permeable membrane means it permits movement of water, solvent, and also permitting movement of a certain number of solute molecules, organic and inorganic solute. Okay, semi-permeable membrane. On that day I told you semi-permeable. It allows movement of solvent but restricting the movement of solute. But what about this one? Along with a movement of solvent, it permits movement of a certain number of solute molecules. Okay. So these two membranes, outer and inner membrane, these two collectively called as envelope. These two collectively called as one envelope. That envelope is a lipoproteinaceous only. Okay, so out of these two, which one is having more surface area? That is neat bit, as it is having foldings. Inner surface is with more surface area. So inner membrane with more surface area. More surface area because of foldings, because of invagination. That is because of invagination or foldings, and they are called as that word is well known to you, mitochondrial cristae. Okay, so out of surface area, outer one is having less surface area, inner one is having more surface area. As inner membrane is invaginated, the surface area of that one is more. So these two membranes are collectively called as envelope. And what about the role of a cristae? Cristae, according to our knowledge, cristae is concerned with respiration. Particularly, it is concerned with electron transport system. It is concerned with the electron ETS. I am writing ETS. ETS, electron transport system. We will see that one later. Our respiratory chain is present. Respiratory chain is present, and it is concerned with energy transformation or transduction. Energy, you can use transduction also, transformation. Energy transformation or conversion. That is a potential energy into kinetic energy. Potential energy into kinetic energy. Okay. And what about this space? So because of two membranes here, two compartments are present. This is outer compartment. So two aqueous compartments are present. So this is a outer aqueous compartment. Outer aqueous compartment, and this one inner aqueous compartment. Okay, so inner and outer compartments respectively, they are called as it is a perimitochondrial space. Perimitochondrial space or intermembrane space. It is also called as intermembrane space. Intermembrane space. Intermembrane space. And inner aqueous compartment is called as, this is well known to you, and that is a mitochondrial matrix part. Mitochondrial matrix part. Okay, so two aqueous compartments. So actually it is part of extensive compartmentalization of eukaryotic cell. Again, compartments are present, compartment 1, compartment 2, because of two membranes. Okay, so within the mitochondrial matrix, it is able to synthesize its required proteins and able to produce energy. So inside, a double-stranded DNA molecule is present. Single double-stranded circular DNA. Circular DNA that codes for formation of RNA. Okay, and this RNA is able to produce proteins. Okay, next 70S ribosomes are present. 70S ribosomes. So these ribosomes are with two types of subunits. They are well known to you, 30S and 50S. Okay, so what about the genetic material present in the mitochondrial matrix? So within the matrix, genetic material, what are the nucleic acids? So within the matrix with the nucleic acids. What are the nucleic acids? One, DNA, that is a genetic material. Genetic material, and that DNA is able to produce RNA. Here 3 types of RNA possible. We will see all those RNA molecules later. Just I will give you words only. mRNA, tRNA. We will see all these later only, not now. And ribosomal RNA. Okay, so because of DNA and RNA, definitely it is able to perform protein biosynthesis. It is able to produce its required proteins and enzymes. Proteins are produced. So what is the type of DNA? Circular DNA. So presence of circular DNA, circular DS, double stranded DNA, and 70S ribosomes. These two are prokaryotic characters. Prokaryotic characters. As mitochondria is having these two, mitochondria is called as, because of circular DNA, 70S ribosomes, mitochondria is called as prokaryotic cell within eukaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cell within eukaryotic cell. Okay, next. Because of DNA, doubling is possible. Mitochondria is able to produce its copies, doubling. So mitochondria divides into two mitochondria by fission, one type of binary fission. So that's what it is called as a semi-autonomous cell organelle. So as it is having DNA, it is able to perform all its metabolic reactions by itself. So that's what it is called as a semi-autonomous cell organelle. Main autonomous one, nucleus. It is a semi-autonomous, not completely autonomous. Okay, is it clear? Now take the screenshot, please. Take down, please. Completed. Now I am going to erase the board. Mitochondria divides into two mitochondria. And as it is having DNA, it is able to perform all its functions. Okay, that's what is called as semi-autonomous, not completely autonomous, half autonomous. Some extent it is autonomous. Reason within the cell, nucleus is present. Nucleus is able to regulate all vital activities. Okay, that is a main autonomous one, completely autonomous. As DNA is present in mitochondria, mitochondria also able to perform, it's able to regulate its functions. So mitochondria have to dance according to tunes of nucleus only. So it is not completely autonomous. Have to work under the guidelines of nucleus only. Even though the DNA is having genetic material, should act according to the decisions made by nucleus only. It is a semi-autonomous, partially powerful. Okay. And what are the other names of mitochondria? Powerhouse of the cell, able to produce energy currency of the cell, ATP molecule. Okay. Take the screenshot, please. Take the screenshot, please. Okay, now I'm erasing the board. Okay. And copy this one also. Within mitochondria, one more function it is able to perform. This is not within first year NCERT textbook, second year part only, but take down this one. So one more function of mitochondria is mitochondria with a central dogma of molecular biology. Just listen and leave it. Don't worry about this one. We'll study this one at the time of second year only, not now. Central dogma of molecular biology. What is that one? Simply, mitochondria with DNA molecule. Okay, so that DNA codes for formation of RNA. Okay, and this RNA codes for formation of a protein. Okay, so first one is transcription, synthesis of RNA from DNA. What is the transcription? Synthesis of RNA from DNA. Second one, translation. Translation, synthesis of protein from RNA by 70th ribosomes, collectively called as the central dogma of molecular biology. So this is a flow of genetic information. Flow of genetic information. Okay, don't worry about this one. This is part of a second year only, not now. Okay. It is not given in first year textbook. We will see this one in second year. Just I am laying foundation for next year syllabus also. It will be more useful. At the time you can understand very easily. Okay. Right. Take down or copy it or take the screenshot, please. Okay. Now I'm erasing the board. Right. Actually, this is nothing but a gene expression. We will see later, not now. Okay. Now I'm erasing the board. So what is the membraneless cell organelle present within the matrix of mitochondria? So my question is, membraneless cell organelle present in mitochondrial matrix. What is the name of membraneless? Yeah, 70th ribosome. Very good, Swagat. Mallesh, Puneet. Very good, excellent, excellent. Okay, right. Hang on. 1 minute, hang on. Okay, are you getting my voice now? Hello, are you getting my voice now? I changed the Bluetooth. It was discharged. Are you getting my voice? Please, anybody chat with me, please. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next. Next cell organelle. Plastids. Now, plastids. Okay, so plastids also double membrane bounded cell organelles. Double membrane bounded cell organelles. And plastids are present in your textbook, according to your textbook, present in almost all plants, and one more statement given, euglenoids, euglenoids. Okay, so euglenoid is one type of class having euglena. Euglena is well known to you. Okay, right? And generally, plastids are generally polymorphic cell organelles. Yeah, that belongs to protista. Yes, very good. Euglenoids are protistans. Very good, excellent. Protistans. Unicellular, photoautotropic eukaryotes. Some are heterotrophs also. Okay, next. Generally, these plastids are polymorphic cell organelles. Morphologically, different kinds of plastids are present. Okay, so now classification. Plastids. Okay, so on the base of presence and absence of pigments or functions, on the base of presence absence of pigments, various types of plastids. There are basically three types. On the base of presence and absence of pigments. So how many types of plastids? Three types of plastids. Okay, so what are they? First one, leucoplasts. Leucoplast or leucoplastids, both are same. So these are without pigments. No pigment. Pigments are completely absent. Generally, they are white in color or colorless. White in color or colorless. We can say colorless also. Okay. And generally, they are not exposed to sunlight. They are deep seated inside the tissue. They are deep seated. They are inside the tissue, not exposed. They are deep seated inside, not exposed to sunlight. And they are concerned with food reserving. They are concerned with the food reserve. So on the base of type of the food reserved by them, leucoplastids are of following types. So types of leucoplastids.
plastids on the basis of type of reserve food. So what are they? Amyloplastids or amyloplastids. So they are concerned with reserving food in the form of starch. They are concerned with reserving starch. Best example, potato. Like that, so many potato and the fruits also, and the seeds also, monocot seeds. Okay, amyloplastids. Wait, hang on. What happened to this one? Wait. Yeah. Wait. It will come automatically. Don't worry. Yes. Sometimes it is. And the second one, plastids. They are concerned with reserving fats and oils. They are concerned with reserving fats and oils. Fats and oils. So many examples. Castor seed, amudam. Okay, groundnut also, groundnut seeds. So like that, so many examples. Kobbari. Okay, next. Fourth one, very, very important. Aleuroplastid, reserving protein. Concerned with protein reserving, able to reserve protein. Best example, pulses. Okay, and monocot seed. Okay, paddy, rice. Okay, so brown layer, brown rice, rich in aleuroplast, brown rice, rich in aleuroplast. Okay. So that is about the first category of plastids, food reserving plastids. Okay, take the screenshot, please. Take the screenshot, please. Okay, right. Take the screenshot, please. Prithviraj, you are moving from one place to other place. Listen the class. Wait. Completed? Okay, right. So today enough, and tomorrow we'll see chromoplastids and chloroplast. Okay, right. Bye. See you. Good night. Okay, bye. See you. How many people attended? Okay, bye. See you. We will meet tomorrow. Okay, bye. See you. Prithviraj. Okay. Yes. Bye. See you. We'll meet tomorrow in the same time. Okay. Bye. See you.